Managerial Accounting, High-Low Method of Separating Mixed Costs, Part 2. Now, you recall in Part 1, we calculated the estimated variable cost per pound for our shipping cost by taking the difference between the total cost at the high and the low of $69 and dividing that by the difference in the number of pounds shipped at the high and the low of 400, and we came up with 17.25 cents per pound shipped. Now, the next step after estimating the variable cost per unit, which remember is the slope of the line, is to plug that information along with the cost information from either the high or the low into our total cost formula. And remember that our total cost formula is total fixed costs plus estimated variable cost per unit times the number of units, or in this case times the number of pounds. So I'm going to plug pounds into this one. So we pull in data from the high and the low and what we calculated as the estimated variable cost. And it doesn't really matter whether you choose the high or the low, but you should choose that for which you already have the data. So we're going to do this at the high. And you want to be very careful when you're doing this to make sure that you pull the right information. If we're calculating this at the high, we need the total cost at the high and the activity at the high. So total cost at the high is $334, so we plug that into our total cost formula. We do not know the total fixed cost. That's what we're about to solve for. So we're going to leave this as an unknown. Plus, we now know our estimated variable cost is 17.25 cents per pound. And we'll multiply that 17.25 cents per pound times the activity, the number of pounds at the high. And again, be careful, make sure you pull both the cost and the activity at the high if that's what you're working on. So 1,300 pounds comes into our formula. And then it's just a matter of doing the math. $17.25 times 1,300 pounds is $224.25. We're going to round that to the nearest whole dollar. So 17.25 cents per pound times 1,300 pounds is $224 rounded. Then we bring like items together by subtracting the 224 from the total cost. So 334 minus 224 is going to leave us with $110, and that is our unknown total fixed cost. So that's the, I guess, about the third step. Use the estimated variable cost from step 2, plug it into the total cost formula along with total cost, total mixed cost, and activity from either the high, which is what we used, or we could have used the data from the low, but either or, not both, and then solve for the unknown total fixed cost. And then once we've got that, we can now place this into a cost estimation formula that we can use for planning what our shipping costs will be at different activity levels. So now our estimated total cost, based on the high-low method, is $110 fixed cost plus variable cost of 17.25 cents times the number of pounds. So if we wanted to estimate what total shipping costs would be for 1,500 pounds, we just plug that 1,500 in here and solve the math. So that's the high-low method of separating a mixed cost into its fixed and variable components.